This video shows how Paul makes the hair barrette I'm wearing here.
Hello again, thanks for joining me on this carve. We're in the middle of a bit of a strange heat wave here at the moment, which is unusual for Wales. It's been really hot again today, so we've waited. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening now, and the temperature's come down lovely, so it's spot on. We're about half a mile away from our home here, another little bench in the woods. So I'm going to have a go at a little hair barrette today. So there's a little selection here of hair barrettes, as you can see, and they all contain chip carving of sorts, and this centre panel that I drop back and pillow over, if you like. And then the edges are chamfered down, and I usually put some sort of a design on the edge of here as well. This one turned into a bit of a Viking ship and shields. So that's what we're going to have a go at today. Probably more this design. So we'll drop back the centre and put in something similar to this on the edge. So this is the piece of wood that we're going to be using today. It's a piece of spalted beech. Spalted because this black line here, it's actually a fungus when it's wet, but once it dries out it becomes inert, but it leaves this lovely pattern behind. These blanks are cut using a jig on my bandsaw, so I end up with a blank arch of wood like this, which is fairly boxy. I then sand these edges down to give it this lovely smooth end on it, and then as you can see the faint pencil line here, I mark these out here and then chamfer this edge off, and I do that using this Flexcut roughing knife. The reason I use this one is because it's such a straight blade and it keeps this shoulder then nice and flat, so when I come to do the chip carving on it, I've got a nice flat surface to work with. So I just go over and then bring it into this corner. So the next stage is to mark out a box panel here and then drop that back to leave the pillow effect, as you can see here. So what I need to think about here is that the pillowed effect, so where it goes down deeper into the corners to leave the roundedness of it. I need to, and I'm putting these cuts in, I need to think about that now, so I need to put in deeper cuts in the corner, come out a little bit, and then deep again. So I'm making a start on dropping this down now. Beech, as you can see here, is a really hard wood. So you may ask, why on earth am I picking something that's so hard to carve? But what you get when it's like this is you can get really nice finish on it, especially when you come to the finer stuff here. But I was going to do smaller hatching here as well, so you'll get really nice clean cuts. Be interested to hear what other people find as good carving woods, and if anyone's tried carving beech, because you don't never hear much people actually carving in beech, probably because it's so hard. But it'd be great to hear in the comments if anyone's had any success with it. I'm fairly happy with that now. Got the effect I was after. This spalting's come out lovely because of its step down now. You can literally see it on the edge here, and it looks like a different bit of spalting here. Just really quite nice effect. So I'm quite pleased I picked that piece of wood. Just giving it a quick final tidy up in the corners here, just so it creates a nicer edge. The next step is to draw in the hash lines. Now what I tend to do here is I mark out the centre point this way and then the centre point this way, so I've got the bang on the centre of the barrette, and then I do the first line at 45 degrees off of this edge here and cross the line through the middle of the barrette itself. So that gives me my very first line. And that just means that the when you come back this way, that cross then is like bang on straight, and it looks better rather than being off centre or anything like that. And then what I use is this protractor, and as you can see here, I've got this line at the back here, and then this edge. I line the line up with there, and then draw the next line in, and this just saves marking them all out individually. So then I just keep going like that. So what I tend to do now to go back the other way is, again using this centre point that I've marked here, I now use this here to make sure that the lines here go straight across at 90 degrees. So using this line here and that edge, I line this one up with a line, and draw it in. And then I just repeat what I did before, and hopefully they'll all be in line and the little boxes will be actually square. So now we're going to cut these lines, and to do that I'm going to use this knife. I have touched on this in a couple of other videos but not actually used it yet on film. It's a Beavercraft chip carving knife. I bought it. I bought just the blade. That's actually a steel sharpening file handle that I used as a handle for it, and it actually fits your hand really nicely for that. I don't use it as a chip carving knife, which is actually what it's designed for. I'm just so used to using normal knives now when I'm doing the chip carving that it just feels alien to me. So if, a lot of people do get on with them though, and it is a good knife. It stays sharp, it keeps its edge really well. I did actually buy it though to do these straight lines. I didn't have anything that was really long for doing these long straight lines. So that's what I bought it for, and that's pretty much what I use it for. So I kind of hold this one in your hand as like this, and then I just use the thumb to steady the knife, and then I literally just roll in there. You got to be careful that you don't touch the edge with the knife, as you end up with little tiny, which I've done before, little tiny dimples on each of the, which is a bit of a shame. So careful's the name of the game here. I go in and then I roll it like this once I'm in, and that just opens it up, uses the bevel just to push the wood across, push the wood out. There you go, there's two there now. So then I just keep going along there, and then I'll flip around and do the other side. When I get to these corner bits, obviously the line's a bit shorter. If I kept going there, I'm going to hit that side. So what I tend to do is to do half, and then go back in on that line here, watching the back still, and then go in on the front there. So I do it in 2 stages, and then obviously you get down to this point and it gets too difficult to do that, and then I tend to use just a small straight chisel then to go in and do these end ones. Giving the Bradawl a quick sharpen up. Right, next stage. Now I use the Bradawl and I just put little tiny dots in between these, and it gives it effect. It looks like it's been stitched, and the old leather settees and stuff like that. Right, so that's pretty much finished now. So what I'm going to do is to do a design on the 2 shoulders here. So how I usually go about marking these out now is I use the edge of the pencil just to go along and make that, oh, I did there, make that edge a little bit sharper, and then do the same at the top, so you can rub that out afterwards, but it makes seeing that edge a lot easier. There we go. Actually, that's right where I want to be there. Let's put that one back in. There we go. So what I tend to do with this is mark it out using that finger on the back of here, because obviously that gives you the arch, and then eyeball it, because I mean you can measure it if you really want to, but you can get pretty close. So I put the first mark in there, as you can see, but the thing with measuring it out is obviously that gets more and more narrow as it goes up there, so you have to eyeball it into the centre of there, right to the end, if you're doing the design I'm doing today. So I'll just do that, so I keep going in, and I'm making that shorter each time until I'm literally heading right out to that point. There we go. And then do the same the other way. So try and keep it as central as I possibly can, which means when I get to about here, I'm starting to shorten that down, swerving that into that point in the corner there. I do tend to measure this bit, so I just measure, I know that this one's 10 centimetres long, so I just mark out the centre point there. So this is what we're trying to mark out here, is these crosses, and what we're going to do is to take these ones out and these ones out, so it leaves a nice X shape if you like. So what I tend to do is measure across there and then mark these out like this. And we'll end that there. You can just about see those. But don't forget we're going round a corner here, so it's got to very, very slightly at the bottom be shorter than the top. There, and up to there, and then we literally join that one with that one, back to dot the dot, and then that one to that one. I don't know whether you can see this bit on camera, but what I tend to do with these end bits is this. So I take these out as a triangle going down towards the corner, and it gives it almost like an arrow at the end. So I've done that one, I've left this last one. So get in nice and deep on these ones. Nice and deep on that corner, and then just quite shallow. You'll be so careful not to take this end out, and then come in really super shallow, take it down deep, and out it pops. So I've just got the rest of this to do now, so I've got these triangles out to take out here, and then that'll give that nice effect that you kind of get in here. So that's that shoulder pretty much finished now. You can see the look I was going for there. So I'm starting to lose the light a little bit here now, which makes doing this fine detail a little bit challenging. So what I'm going to do is go back to the carving room. I'll finish that other shoulder. Then I'll give it a good final clean up, quick sand over, and add some oil. And then we'll give it a good buff, put a little clip on the back, and then I'll take some footage and some photos, and I'll show you the finished product at the end.